This first article is about a company called Sigfox and how they're partnering with Google Cloud to accelerate its massive IoT agenda. So IoT stands for Internet of Things, and the way I understand it is just a normal application, a thing, an appliance, something that transfer whatever data it is to something else. I think of it. Let me try and give an example. Something like a heater displaying that it is outputting a heat. It could be as simple as like an LED or an LED lighting up, or it just giving a signal out to somewhere in the house that it's open. Is that right, Jonathan? Something like that? Or do you have a better example?
Something along those lines. It's smaller, It's not necessarily a computer, but some sort of smaller device like a toaster, a picture frame, something that can be computerized on a network, talk to other things on that network, but isn't necessarily a
A computer,
full-on.
right? It doesn't have like that hardware, that extreme hardware. It could be,
Yeah,
it's very small data that's being transmitted, is pretty much what I'm understanding.
usually.
All right, and they're partnering with Google to just increase its infrastructure. I guess like somewhere to hold all this data, because apparently there's a lot of these devices. They say on our planet has more connected devices than people, and that's crazy because you think about how much people we are. We're like what 9 billion. I wonder how much the devices connect to each other. So this is definitely in the beginning stages. They don't know exactly what to do with the information yet, or how to process the information, or what this information can do yet. But they're in the gathering stage, and once we gather it, we could find definitely a good couple of uses for it. So overall, Sigfox is, I guess, a company to look out for.
I think the partnership would be great between the Sigfox and Google. I think the main purpose of them increasing their or their partnership is because they want to prioritize on the social distancing, and it could help track like track people if everyone is out of the room or out of the office, they can actually go and clean that area, or they can see like if a person has a name tag, they can probably track them accordingly if they have a distance between them, between from employee to employee. So those are the probably the applications that they're planning on, and expanding that will give them more devices to be connected. So the more devices they have, the more data they're going to have. The whole purpose of it would be for them to get Google involved to store their data, and then they can evaluate that data uh, via internet. So that would be a perfect application for any company, so that they don't have to be on campus or um, in the office to actually determine what the impact is to their products. And I think many companies are looking ways uh, to be to do work without being in the office. So this way, if they actually have hardware they can track, this will be a perfect option, and it will limit the people that can go into the office.
Yeah, the interesting thing that I'm seeing in this article is these Internet of Things devices. There are almost like a data gathering network being run by a data now partnered with a data gathering company, Google. So I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to use this data to gather information on individuals. To what can they do? Can they improve? Can you hook up your alarm clock to your coffee pot? Motion detector to just something like Windows or lights, so the lights come on when you enter the room. I think it's going to be interesting over the next couple of years what might come out. Like I'm even seeing light bulbs that you could hook up to, like your Alexa Echo Dot, to change the color of the room, turn stuff on remotely, connect to your TV, so you turn your TV on, you can dim your lights. It's a lot of data that's going to be pushed out, even if you're like in remote. Like if this goes over, the article said it goes over a 0G network. So if that could get some distance on that network to further cell phone tower than what like a 4 or 5G network would need, these devices like this would be ideal for, say, monitoring an unmanned, say, like a electrical station or pumping station. That if there's a problem, you wouldn't need a person to come and check on it. It's a lot easier to have individual devices that could kind of call out for help instead of waiting for somebody to come by, or maybe being able to phone out, depending on how remote these systems are. It may be a great start. Instead of having like a satellite phone connection, you might be able to use these devices to, reduce the cost of maintenance of people going out to these sites unnecessarily just to check, when you can remotely monitor all this too.